We are coming out of our studio in the Tampa Bay area, and on this show we want to deal with some of the hottest topics in Islam, some of the most relevant issues in Islam. For instance, today we are going to deal with the burning of the Quran. Who does it benefit to burn the Quran? Before I start speaking, I want to show to all my audience who will be watching this, to the Christian audience, to the Jewish audience, to whoever be it, to the Muslim audience, that Muslims should be a tolerant people. We should not practice ignorance. For instance, in front of me you see these Bibles here. These Bibles are my personal Bible. I am a Muslim and I read the Holy Quran, but I also read the Bible too. I do not, as I say to you, live on GOI TV, I do not wish to disrespect this book. I do not advise any Muslim or anybody from any religion to disregard this book or to throw this book in the bin or to burn this book. Why would I burn this book when there are good things in this book? There are many stories of Jesus and Moses and Abraham and Solomon in this Bible. So I want the world to know, and I guess I'm speaking for the majority of the Muslims in the world. We have no hatred for the Bible. We do not want to disrespect the Bible. We do not want to burn the Bible. As a matter of fact, nearly every Muslim I know has a copy of the Bible in his house.
Well, of course, September 11th was and what happened was, of course, a very, very serious thing. I believe that it reveals the true colors of Islam. And we thought about what can we do to really show the dangers of what happened that day. And it's not only what happened that day, but actually what Islam does around the world. And we felt burning the Quran would be something of that magnitude.
Today we want to deal with the burning of the Quran, as you have seen in that little clip I showed before, with this pastor speaking about burning the Quran to commemorate the 9/11 event, which I think is the most ignorant, the most idiotic, the most dumb thing that anyone can do. By the way, did this pastor here remind you of Jesus? Does anything he say, does he have the tolerant attitude of Jesus? Today I want to speak to the God-fearing, the good Christians, the pious Christians, the real Christians, the real people who follow Jesus, those who seek peace and those who seek justice, those who seek unity, those who practice tolerance. I speak to those Christians today who Jesus speaks to in the book of Matthew 5 in the 10th chapter, where Jesus said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God." As I said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Now let's stop for a minute. That clip I showed you earlier with that pastor, does he remind you of Jesus? Is he promoting peace? Is he promoting unity? Is he promoting tolerance? Is this the behavior of Jesus? Is this what Jesus is speaking about in Matthew, where he said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God"? Does this seem like the children of God? Let me ask you a question. What would we benefit from the burning of the Quran? Who is to benefit from it? Let us go back to Germany. A lot of people cry for what took place with the Jews in Germany. Is this what they want to see take place in the United States of America? Where is this Islamic phobia coming from? Why would somebody from one religion be so disrespectful that they think they have the right to burn the book that millions of Muslims around the world take as the most sacred book? Who gives them the right to burn this book? Is this the way of Jesus? Is this what Jesus teaches us to do? There may be a handful of people who would love to see something like this. These ignorant people, these blind people, these people who Jesus mentioned as they are blind, they are deaf, and they are dumb. For Christianity is supposed to be a religion of peace. We all know that it will be a great sin, it will be a monstrous sin, if a Muslim, ask any Muslim anywhere in the world, did the Prophet Muhammad give him the order to burn the Bible? No, he will say no, because it is illegal, it is forbidden for us to disrespect this book. I say to the good Christian, if you do a little bit of research, you will see that Muslim, Jews, and Christians were living together in Palestine. The Christians would help the Muslims would help the Jews, they would babysit one another kids, there was no war. So where is this war coming from? Where is this hate for Islam? Who is the benefit? Who is the benefit from this burning of the Quran? I say to the good Christian, listen to the words of Jesus and not to the words of evil men, as Jesus says in the book of Matthew, in the 7th chapter, verse 15 to 26. Jesus says, beware of false prophets. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are ravaging wolves. Jesus said, be mindful of those people who come to you, those preachers who come to you, and they come in the clothing of sheep, but inwardly they are ravaging wolves. Their aim is to create destruction. Their aim is to create disunity. This is Jesus speaking. He said, be mindful. Be mindful of those. Be mindful of those who shall come saying, oh, we are about peace, but in truth they are really about war. Their aim is to create division. Their aim is to create war. Again, Jesus says to us in the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 25, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. So my people, if Muslims and Christians are to start hating one another, this would benefit no one. It will not benefit the United States of America. Because Jesus said a nation divided among itself will fall to desolation. So what will become of America if Muslims are watching at Christians with hatred and Christians are watching at Muslims with hatred? What manner of war would this bring? Is this the way of Jesus? Is this the way of the peacemakers? No. These are not the peacemakers. This is the way of the warmongers. So if this pastor goes ahead and burn these Qurans, will this make Muslims decide that Christianity is a beautiful religion, so I should become a Christian? I mean, who is the benefit from this? It does not make no sense at all. A matter of fact, if any Christian was to burn the Bible, there would be no hope of Christianity ever being able to promote Christianity to the Muslims. We know this is the hope of the Christian. The Christian thinks that Christianity is the best religion, and his aim is to convert the Muslims to Christianity. It is the same thing with the Muslims. We believe that Islam is the truth, and we want to bring Islam to the Christians. But we do not have to do this in the way of wars. Let us do this in the way of dialogue. Let us do this in the way of peace. Let us sit and eat and let us exchange our views. Let the Christian bring his Bible. Let the Muslim bring his Quran. And let us have a peaceful dialogue. Let us see who is speaking the truth. Let us have witnesses so the witnesses can say, okay, the Muslim has made a point. Okay, the Christian has made a point. What or who will benefit from burning the Quran? This is the most idiotic, ignorant thing I have seen. So Jesus is saying in your Bible, in the New Testament, this is not the Old Testament, he said that you have heard that you should love your neighbor. But Jesus is saying to you, but I say to you that you should love your enemy. But let us say you have so much hate that you are so hurt about what took place in the World Trade Center and you blame the Muslims for it. While your country went to war with the Muslim countries, how many Muslims have died? Millions of Muslims have died in Iraq, and many more are dying in Afghanistan, many more are dying in Pakistan, and dying around the world since 9/11 take place. So let us say you wanted vengeance. How much blood must run? How many Muslims must die before you were satisfied? Let us say 2,000 people die in the World Trade Center. 3,000 people die in the World Trade Center. Well, I say to you, hundreds of thousands of Muslims have died since the America has declared war on Muslims for blowing up the World Trade Center. As we see, Timothy McVeigh, he blew up the federal building in Oklahoma City. He was a Christian man. Does it mean that all Christians should be watched as terrorists? Are we supposed to walk around like, oh my gosh, there's a Christian church there, there might be some terrorists in that church, oh my God, there's a Christian church there, we should watch because there is a Christian there, and Timothy McVeigh was a Christian? Okay, let's say the Catholic priests. Today we have a problem with the Catholic priests, which has been going on for many, many, many years. We are seeing that the Catholic priests are known for molesting children, and this is not something that is vague. This is not something that is happening in one or two churches. It is something that is happening in the Catholic churches all around the world.